here. They've got the pieces, though. They've got the Aphelios. They've got the Ari. They've got a lot of team fight potential here. They've got two of the five champions, that won them game one in Robo, Sejuani, and Crocs Wukong. And Crocs Wukong is no doubt really, really good. Like you said, Karyoka has had the first move. He's had the first jump. You saw that flash in game one on the Poppy to get the gank off onto Bronche and Sales, but it was just not enough. This time, like you said, Weiser, though, on the Gwen, and I really want to see this matchup. I really want to see Weiser pop off, because if he gets this, they have to draft resources they put into banning out Trundle and banning out Silas. If Weiser keeps getting Gwen and keeps winning on it, I just feel like Loud can't do anything, right? Because then they either have to give up the Kalista, they have to give up the Trundle, or they give up the Silas in lieu of banning something like this. And yeah, this is Weiser's game to pop off. He's Gwen into a tank. He's going to have a fairly free lane, I assume.
Karyoka roams that direction. We saw a late invade from Pain in game number 2 that really kind of put Croc on the back foot. This time, looks like it'll just be a little ward. Nothing too much to worry about, but they'll get some good jungle tracking at least out of it. Weiser didn't get anything on the top side, so it'll be a little bit more of a mystery for Croc as he'll hop onto that red buff, and we'll get a very standard game number 3 in our winners finals here, Shibby, where both teams looking to go on to match point.
Yeah, they're looking to go up 2-1, put the other team backs against the wall here. Like you said, standard start, Karyoka starting on the top side, Croc starting on the bot side, both going for red buffs. You can see where their priorities lie, right? Karyoka knows and understands that Weiser is going to have the push on this lane. He's going to have the lane advantage here, so it's going to look to really affect bot lane, keep Bronche and Seos down, the name of the game here. And if you look across the board on the summoner spells, Seos not opting in for Guardian here, actually going for the summoner spellbook on Rakan. I think it's the first time I've ever seen that in CBLOL here. Dinkato as well opting in for summoner spellbook. No electrocute, no phase rush, nothing like that on Swain. Just opting in for more utility here. Really, really nice trading, though, from Weiser onto Robo.
Well, it's interesting because speaking of the spellbook, it's Tinones who, we saw the spellbook Ari from Dinkato game 1. It's actually the electrocute Ari for Tinones here. So he's trying to pump out a bit more damage. So maybe that's why Seos ends up bringing the spellbook to make up for the lack of the spellbook on their mid laner. It'll be a very interesting to see what spells Seos plans on bringing out. I mean, he already has the Ignite, maybe looking for an Exhaust. Very curious to see what he's going to bring out. The spellbook, I feel like on a support, is a very niche, to say the least.
Might just come out with the TP, right? Seos TP coming in, coming in hot, right? Potentially
quickness, maybe. I mean, I didn't want to say TP because in my head it just didn't seem like a support with TP just doesn't feel right to ever see. So maybe
it might be the difference maker, like you said. He might get the TP flank off into the quickness. You never know. I mean, this is summoner spellbook support. Yeah, I fully expect shenanigans coming out, but Dinkato, nice trading onto Tinones. Tinones opting in to take the wave onto the queue. Karyoka clearing pretty well. Ended up 5 camping, and you saw the adaptation from Loud. They warded the tri-bush, so Karyoka can't just flash over Dragon Pit and kill them. But now, assistance pings coming out from Weiser here. Karyoka going to be looking to potentially gank top here. Robo looking to get some deep vision.
Robo did see the Scrying Bloom go out, so he did kind of have an idea of where Karyoka was. We might actually get a fight over the River Scuttle. Instead, Karyoka will just simply smite it and walk away, but now they're looking for a play on an Dinkato. Robo is coming down. Croc is here as well with the Warrior Trickster in stealth, looking to hop onto the Swain, and they'll get a flash, and that is good enough for Loud as they'll opt for the resets here.
Yeah, really weird from Dinkato to keep playing up. Uh-oh, engage.
Damage goes in there with the Zenith Blade. We saw a flash from Trigo right as we pan down to the bottom side of the map. Only summoner spell blown in that fight as Seos tries to back on a ward, and we might get some shenanigans here from Trigo if he wants to stop it one more time. No,
the cooldown's not there. Unfortunately. Dinkato, though, really weird play because Karyoka saw Wukong, I believe, Sejuani into the riverside. So I feel like Dinkato could have just walked back instead of having to burn his flash there. Just playing a little bit too confidently, playing a little bit too much up right now. Pain Gaming have a small gold lead with 400 gold here. That's primarily from both the jungle and the solo lanes here, right? specifically mid lane and jungle having a nice camp and CS lead. But that'll dissipate pretty quickly. So far, the early game has gone pretty quietly, which honestly works in favor of Loud here because they have something like the Wukong and the Aphelios. They're more than content on farming up. Specifically, Croc wants to farm up till 6 to really start affecting these lanes and really start getting some massive ganks off.
Karaoke hasn't been in your lane already and picked up first blood is a big win for Loud. Speaking of, though, Tinone's taking quite a bit of damage. And as his namesake, Damage tried to look for maybe a Zenith Blade into the queue, but wasn't quite able to find it. And that'll be a reset. Dragon has spawned. Mountain Dragon, after being the soul in game 2, will grace us with his presence in game number 3. I don't think either team has early interest in it. As Croc and Karaoke fight over a ward, but this should just be a disengage. Both junglers just kind of hanging around in case anything weird happens, but that's not going to be the case.
No hanky-panky in the bot lane for either of these guys. Croc and Karaoke guarding diligently. They're both of their bottom laners. They're both scaling. Both really want to just, get to their 2 to 3 item power spikes, like you said. And what we didn't mention was that Seos, they actually ended up picking up the Rakan once they saw the Poppy. So it's really odd that they picked up more dash champion mechanics. It's Wiser.
Ooh.
Is he going to kill him?
I think, unfortunately, he is out of needlework charges, I believe. So he is going to have to maybe look for a dive, and Rocket is at least hovering that side of the map. So unfortunately, he will have to disengage. But yeah, he came very close to just eliminating Robo. You talked about it, though. Wiser's Gwen already hasn't gotten a kill, making its presence felt because Robo really cannot try and trade it at all early on here. You can't set up a Rift Herald play if you force Wiser to back because the Gwen is just absolutely shredding Sejuani right now.
Yeah, it is pretty disgusting what Wiser does on this Gwen. It is just honestly miles above any other Gwen in CBLOL, in my opinion. And he also can play the counter, right? We've seen people try to pick the Gwen into him. He will happily take the Jax and just stomp you in the side lane, no doubt about it. And now, Seos and Branche. This is the first time I think they've gone the early laning phase without getting really disturbed, without getting ganked or anything like that. And you can see just why Branche and Seos have been so strong, why they've been opting into banning 380 carries, taking out the Aphelios away from him. I mean, they are just doing really fantastic on this bottom lane pick. Ionian Boots of Lucidity picked up for Rakan here, going to give him more summoner spell cooldown. You see the TP
there
coming
it
in
is!
from Seos!
There's Rift Herald's up, and Seos is teleporting up to the top side of the map. Trigo, of course, without the teleport, stuck on the bottom side. Branche, since he opted for the reset, is going to be closer. Though it does look like Trigo is going to opt to move up. I believe when I saw Branche back, by the way, he does have red and white. So if he gets, yes, he does. This is not a fight Pain can take without some repercussions, as Rift Herald is going to be picked up by Karaoke, but the fight is now going to start. Trigo trying to walk in, damage already taking a ton of it. Cyclone is used. It's first blood for Ninkado. Trigo is here really just to pop his ult. The Graceful Prison gets the stun, and it's enough for Branche to pick up Ninkado. It's a 2-0 for Loud. They lose the Rift Herald, but they get the first 2 kills of game number 3.
What I'm trying to understand is where that Poppy ultimate went, because I saw the hammer going off. I want to see the replay here. I thought it hit somebody. It didn't launch anybody into the ether, so all of Loud was able to just pick up 2 kills for themselves. Yes, the Rift Herald does go down to Pain Gaming and they pick it up, but crucially, they lose their solo laners, both Ninkado and Wiser here, who's able to come back up, TP back up. Uh-oh. They're going to re-gank this guy.
And Seos are here. Seos did not use the quickness, by the way, in that fight. Here it comes. Quickness into the dash. Going to get a nice charm there. This should be a kill onto Wiser. It is. Robo picks it up. And Loud making a statement here. Will be Karaoke picking up the Dragon, but game 3 is all Loud right now in the first 10 minutes.
And unfortunately, Ninkado walks down to Dragon and TP's top because they're afraid that he's going to get more plates here. Picks up the wave, doesn't want any more gold going over into the void. And Ninkado stops Robo's back, so that's going to be a little annoying. Thumbs up goes out.
A little bit of gesturing back and forth. Take a look at the gold. It is Loud, top 4 positions. Tinones leading the pack, nearly 500 gold ahead of everybody else. And again, we talked about it. He did it on game 1 on Silas. Silas is now banned, and game 3 is looking pretty good for Tinones right now.
Yep, on the Ari, 1-0-1, has the lost chapter. Well, you see Dinkato, he just hasn't really built much here. Went for the Merc Treads early on to try to dissuade some of the gank pressure, some of the CC that is on the side of Loud here, which is quite a bit. If honestly, pretty much every member on the side of Loud has hard CC. So it will be really nice to just kind of take some of that away with the Merc Treads. But even then, look what he's opting into. Has the Bandle Glass Mirror, so he is opting in for the early spike Imperial Mandate. But I don't know, it might be too little too late. Because you look, there's Lost Chapter, there's nearly a Divine Sunder completed for Croc, there's pretty much a Gale Force almost completed on the side of Branche. I mean, usually Imperial Mandate is like 1,000, roughly 1,000 gold less than most of the mythics here that are available to some of these carry champions simply because it's a support item. But it just feels like it's a little late for Dinkato here. And I would have opted in to see him going for maybe a Leandries or a Rift Maker or something with a little bit more oomph and power.
Yeah, especially with Gweiser's Gwen being at least shut down in the early game, 0-2, sitting on Amplifying Tome and a Ruby Crystal, maybe about to be 0-3, as Robo's going to hop onto him. Croc is there for the Cyclone. It's just 0-3. You're going to need damage from somewhere. So yeah, I would have liked to see Dinkato maybe go a little bit more tanky. Robos should be able to pick up a plate here on the top side of the map. Branche, oh, nice dodge of the Zenith Blade there. The ward gives away damage in Carioca. And Pain is really getting desperate right now. They're looking for anything to kind of keep game 3 within arm's grasp early on. They are going to drop the Rift Herald here on the bottom side of the map. One plate already in Trigo's pocket. He should be able to get another one. Dinkato is going to come down. There's the Keeper's Verdict.
Nice
Rakan knocked away. Branche goes down. The teleport comes in from Tinones, though. Can he get the kill onto Carioca? Yes, he can. He'll get the Spirit Rush reset. He should be able to get a kill onto damage as well, as Croc will pick that one up. One more. Can he find the charm? He doesn't even need to. The knockup from Seos there. Blainalt will come out for Dinkato, but I think they have enough damage. The Drain Tank not online just yet. Oh, what a stumble! The charm, it does land, and the kill goes over. Loud happily trades that one 3 for 1, on the bottom side of the map.
7-1 overall score, and that was off of Pain Gaming just forcing the dive onto Branche. Yes, they get the kill, but they didn't pay attention. Ari and Wukong were well on their way here, right? They get the Rift Herald down. You see Carioca charging up the hammer, knocking Seos out of there, and they finally get onto Branche. They get the kill and everything, but look, TP's coming in from Ari. Croc is already here. How many health bars are super low? Trigo and Carioca both super low. Damage is going to go down. And Dinkato didn't pop the ultimate at all, was waiting and biding his time. Finally pops it, but it's too little too late. Was able to stall out, but that's about as much as he could do. Burns the stopwatch, but eats the charm, dies here. And that is just a nice pay from Loud. Understanding and just reacting to what Pain Gaming was really trying to force there. And unfortunately, Pain Gaming are now down 3,000 gold at the 14-minute mark. I mean, this is the first time in this series that Pain Gaming has been down early game in gold, right? This is the first time Loud's been up.
Yeah, usually it's Carioca pacing the game, multiple ganks for his team. This time only 1-1 on the Poppy. The good news is for Pain, they got all the early objectives, right? They got first Dragon, they got first Rift Herald, which is the only reason they won that plate battle, by the way, just by 1. So only an extra 160 gold in the pocket of Pain Gaming. But at least they got that going for them. If they had lost early Dragons, they had lost the early Rift Herald, this could be a disaster game here, should be instead. Ocean Dragon spawning, second Rift Herald spawning. Second Rift Herald guaranteed to go into Loud's pocket. I'm curious if Pain is going to try and fight so far behind here for this Dragon. As Weiser still working on... There's only one mythic item in the game right now, should be on the side of Pain. As they engage here. Solar Flare going to go out. Branche able to flash away. Teleport going to come in. Quickness will be used. Tinones on his way. Keeper's verdict from Karaoke going to be used to knock away
Dinkato's
Seos.
TP.
Teleport from Dinkato. He does have the demonic ascension immediately going to pop it. They get a kill onto Tinones, and this could be a problem. Bronche has red plus white. It does not matter. Pain has come back here. Dinkato will fall, but it's 4-for-1 on the bottom side of the map. But hey, at least Croc got to throw down the Rift Herald.
Croc throws the Rift Herald down into the mid lane, picks up the turret. I don't think they got first turret there. Pain Gaming ended up getting it. So the gold is evened out. They're going to get the dragon as well. And yeah, just a really nice play from Pain Gaming, right? Dinkato comes in with the DP. Like you said, the man is a problem. He definitely did. Picks up a double kill plus some assists into his pocket. Crucially, though, Karaoke had the W, the steadfast presence, was able to stop the dash again with the steadfast presence coming in.
Cyclone Recast is able to most likely pick up a kill onto damage. Blast Cone will save Karaoke. Oh, they end up getting a double kill for Seos with the Ignite there.
Dinkato's here.
Croc, I don't think you kill him under tower, Croc. That's a kill for Trigo. It's a shutdown for the Sivir too. That is not what you want for Loud. You've blown your gold lead, and you've just given a shutdown over to Trigo.
2-for-1, and they've got a slight gold lead still. Loud, like you said, they're blowing it. They're giving it to the wrong members, right? A lot of this gold is on the Sejuani because a lot of those ganks went to the top side, right? Sivir now backed, bought a full Phantom Dancer fish. I saw nothing in his inventory. Boom, Phantom Dancer pops up out of nowhere, pulls it out like a rabbit out of a hat. This Sivir is now firmly ahead of Bronche at the moment, and he is going to be so strong. Trigo, no stranger to pumping out the DPS here. And if you have that extra amp coming out from Dinkato, coming out from Karaoke, it'll be super, super nice for Trigo here. He can play this fight really well. Triple melee composition coming out from Loud with the Wukong, the Sejuani, and the Rakan here. He should be able to have these bouncing blades and these boomerang blades chopping through the rest of Loud.
It's been an absolute mind-blowing game 3 up until the 15 minute mark. This looked like it was Loud's early game to win. They get dominated bot side. They lose the dragon. They coordinate a very iffy tower dive onto Trigo, and all of a sudden Pain still down. It's still a 1,000 gold lead for Loud thanks to those early kills. I mean, you can see every member except Bronche supporting at least multiple kills with only one death. But this Sivir is going to be a problem. The Imperial Mandate is now finished on Dinkato. He'll have that for the next fight. He is now a problem. And this is going to be a very tough fight for Loud. Probably our next dragon is where these teams will look to skirmish once again, as both Rift Heralds have already been taken. But man, Pain is in a very, very good spot for that next dragon now, Shibby.
Oh, yeah. Pain is nice and set up. They've got the mythics ready. You see Dinkato has the Imperial Mandate, not opting in, I believe, for the Riley's Crypto Scepter, actually opting in for a Phoenix Codex. You'd have think he would have been sitting on his broken stopwatch if he's going to go for the Zanyas. Want to see what he's going to end up building here. He still is kind of, I would say, behind Tinones here, but he's more of a utility drain tank kind of mid laner, right? He's just trying to provide as much. He's trying to be as annoying as possible to kill his damage. He's going to die here. The ultimate comes out.
Cyclone going to be used there. Karaoke. It's actually just going to double Keeper's verdict away. Croc and Seos. Damage survives the Poppy utility, and that's what Pain has, is really everyone on this team has utility. You mentioned the drain tank from Dinkato. Karaoke has the CC with the ultimate. Weiser and Trigo are about the only raw damage they have, and I will say, for as good as Pain's early game has gone, Weiser has been basically thoroughly dominated, mainly on the back of several Croc ganks. But 0-3-0 on this Gwen really hasn't had his presence felt yet, as he's still going to get kind of shoved in on the spot lane. It's him and Robar just basically trading waves at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's been bullied, right? He put a lot of pressure. He was the reason, I would say, why Pain Gaming was able to pick up 2 dragons, right? He's just soaking up so much gank pressure, soaking up so much attention from both Croc and Robo here that they were able to take these fights. He's crucially why, you know, Dinkato on that TP on the bottom, it was a 4v3 for the longest time. Robo was too little too late on that TP because they were taking the Rift Herald because Weiser was solo on the top side here. So, I mean, Yeah, he hasn't had the performance that we imagined on the Gwen, right? The one that we're so afraid of. But he did his job, in my opinion, right? Soaked up pressure, soaked up gank pressure, and was allowed Pain Gaming to win on other sides of the map, specifically on the bot and mid lane side here. And yeah, Dinkato picking up the Zanyas here, so he's just going to be super, super annoying. Has so much utility, so hard to kill. But you look, Pain Gaming has no vision on this dragon right now, and it is coming up very soon.
Gold lead for Loud has actually ballooned up another 500 gold just while they're farming as they look to try and jump onto Carioca. See if that extra gold matters as well. Everybody in the game as their mythic items finish for this brawl here around the Dragon Pit. And we'll see who wants to claim it as damage takes a small chunk. Another Hextech soul here in this series. Those Hextech gates, something else to keep an eye on. As Robo over the wall does a nice chunk of damage, but they're still looking for that engage right now, Shibby.
And they're just pushing out the mid lane presence here right now. 5 members strong on both of these dragons. The fight is down to break out right now.
Zenith Blade gonna go in. It's red and white for Bronche, though. The needlework ripping apart the team. Ninkato's gonna pop the demonic ascension. Croc goes down. Bronche goes down. Tinones is left all alone. And Pain will do it again. Weiser said, yeah, I was 0-3, but that does not matter. They don't even care about the dragon. It is a Baron call for Pain here in game 3.
Screw the dragon. We're going to go for the 22-minute Baron because there's no way that Robo and Tinones can take it. Tinones does have the Spirit Dash available, though. Can he get the resets off the back of Robo? This will be a miracle play from Tinones. Show your worth right now.
You gotta go in. Baron, 3k health and dropping. Everfrost used by Tinones here. There is no Glacial Prism for Robo. Baron just gets picked up with really out of contest. Now they're looking to wipe the buffs off the face of the game. Oh, they can at least pick up damage here. Can they find another one? They get the Spirit Rush reset. Weiser gonna get knocked up by the Grand Entrance. Ties the dash over the wall. One more attack. It's a double kill for Tinones. He gets another charge of the Spirit Rush. Can they find Carioca? Knife flash on the charm. But the Glacial Prism lands. Can he get to the blast code? No, he cannot. They get the Baron, but they lose 3 for it as Robo and Tinones make the hero play to keep Loud in this game.
The gold is dead even now based off those 3 kills. 3 members, the top laner, the support, and the jungler do not have Baron. It is only Dinkato. It is only Trigo. And they lose 3 Barons. They lose a dragon here as well. So the dragon stacking is not even on their favor anymore. Pain Gaming, risky call. Let's see if it works out. Right now, the Baron power play is minus 1,000 gold. Or sorry, minus 700.
I like the play from Pain. I think only in hindsight can you really say that they should have gone for the dragon. I thought they had the burn. Unfortunately, Robo and Tinones both had enough of a distraction to buy time for their team. And the respawn timers are still a little bit short at 20 minutes. But I like the play from Pain, right? You've been trailing in this game. You finally had a couple of team fights go your way. Why not just crush Loud's will to live? I'm not going to bash it, even though the Baron power play is going to struggle to be positive here. I think that was the right call. It just was great execution, honestly, by Loud.
All right, they pick up the tier 1 turret here, so it's plus 9 gold, baby, on that Baron power play as they're looking to crack the tier 1 open in the mid lane here. But yeah, I agree. You cannot be timid in these semifinals. You can't be. I agree. The Pain Gaming Baron play, you look at it now in hindsight, oh, it was super bad. They lost 3 members. They lost the dragon. But in the moment, it was the right call. You want to snuff them out. If that Baron power play, if they lose 1 or 2 less members, you have to agree that they would have shot up, springboarded maybe 2,000 to 3,000 gold here. It was the right call. Just the execution from Loud was immaculate. Now a team fight breaks in.
Croc's going to jump right onto Dinkato. He's already used both cycles. Glacial Prism is going to go down, and damage has fallen over. Now they want to find Trigo here on the hunt. Is Pop, but he will fall as well. Carioca trying to stay alive. Oh, the Grand Entrance knock-up here from Seos. It's another kill. Negative 2,000 gold on the Baron power play for Pain, and it's the Baron loser play at this point. Shibby, they have lost everything after getting Baron.
And they might just lose their inhibitor here. Everybody has survived on the side of Loud. Pain Gaming, it looked like we're taking the better of these team fights, but now Loud has found their engage. They have found the combo that works, and it is just going in. Croc And Seo specifically on this Rakan, the quickness has been catching multiple members. You see on the replay here in the mid lane, Dinkato and Croc have been fighting off to the side. Karyoka's hammer misses, and that's the key. Quickness, Glacial Prison into now Trigo is dead because Tinones has multiple resets on the Spirit Rush, and there's nothing they can do. Wiser and Dinkato zoned off by Croc, and nobody dies on the side of Loud. That's an inhibitor taken in the mid lane. That is your jungle ravished. And now they turn their eyes towards potentially setting up Dragon Vision here, as it should be coming up in about 2 minutes.
Been a disastrous 5 minutes here, really 3 minutes for Pain. Ever since that 22-minute mark where they grabbed the Baron, it has been really just a downward spiral. Negative 3,200 gold on your Baron power play, by the way, Shibby. But again, in hindsight, it looks bad. It was still the right play at the time. I will defend Pain on that. But now they've got to find a way back in. They've lost multiple team fights. Wiser very close to his Rabadons, though, as you see that gold graph there. It has been really Loud's game to lose. They kind of lost it for a little bit, but now they're back, baby, and they're once again in charge.
Yeah, I think the thing to point out here is that Trigo is on 3 items on this Sivir, right? 60% crit, Boomerang Blades are going to start hurting, ripping through your team. And like you said, there is no Gnasher's Tooth on Wiser. He went straight from Riftmaker into, looks like you said, the Rabadon's Death Cap. He's just looking to get a lot of work with, a lot of damage with the Needlework specifically. Yeah, finishes the Death Cap here. And now we're going to see what Dinkato opts to build. He can still go for the Rileys here. The components are there, Blasting Wand and Amplifying Dome. You slot in a Giant Spell, and that's your Rileys Crystal Scepter there. Dinkato backing, though. 16-9, 3,000 gold lead for Loud. Trigo is very, very strong, though. He just has to not get caught. He cannot get caught by Glacial Prison, the quickness, or even any of Tinone's dashes, which is a lot to ask for of Trigo here.
It does. He would have the flash. He'll obviously have the spell shield that he can use, maybe block a charm. Has the hunt on the hunt for the movement speed. He has the tools, but as you said, when you spell it all out, there's a lot to dodge. And I will say, yes, the Gnasher's Tooth might have been, the more consistent call, but Wiser's Needleworks have been ripping through Loud when he's able to use it in team fights. I love the fact he's just I'm gonna slam R, and if we hit a couple of them onto Bronche, a couple of them onto Tinones, they're already half-life for this next fight. As you said, Dragon up in about a minute now. We're positioning around it. There's some nice blue vision right around the Wolves pit. There's nothing on that blue buff yet. As I say it, those Seos will dash over the wall. He'll throw it down, but with those Hex Gates, it's very easy for teams to make plays in those jungles as Dragon lands onto the Rift here, and we'll see what these teams want to do.
Yeah, Tinone's on 3 items in this mid lane. 3 items for both of these guys, Dinkato and Tinone's, but Tinone's in 3 items are a lot more impactful, right? Damage-wise. Rabadon, Shadow Flame, Everfrost, fully stacked ring for himself as well. The Dark Seal just pumping out AP here. Well, you look at the side of Dinkato, a lot of utility, a lot of annoying items. Rileys, Imperial Mandate, Zanya. He is just looking to get into the middle of your team, get into the thick of it, and just say, you know what? You have to deal with me as the Glacial Prison goes out into Karyoka.
Karyoka able to survive. They're able to get a nice pull in here to Robo. Wiser going to try and look for that Needlework here. There's a ton of damage going out. Nice. Incredibly low. And the first kill goes on to damage. Wiser chasing down Bronche. Look at the Needlework damage. That's why you build Rabadons. Bronche is gone. This Dragon started up by Pain. You see a couple of low health members backing. Tinones uses his final Spirit Rush charge.
Has TP. Wiser has TP, so they can TP back in here.
Robo's going to TP back in first, as well as Seos with that spellbook. Here's that TP from Dinkato. Wiser's going to TP back in here as well. It's a 4-on-4, but you still have Trigo. You have your AD carry. You can absolutely shred as Dinkato takes a ton of damage. A great push into the wall. Tinones is dead. Robo and Croc got to run away. Seos caught on the wrong side, though. He is distracting Trigo, at least, as Trigo's trying to kill the support. Croc going to go in. Warrior Trickster over the wall, but he'll just flash back away. Dragon secured by Wiser, and it's sole point for Pain Gaming.
And the difference maker of that fight was the Karyoka hammer. He swats, I believe, Croc out of the team fight completely, allows Trigo and Dinkato to make the space so that they can do the damage. Crucially, they get onto Bronche here. They kill him during that dragon fight. I don't know if the replay is going to show up, if they're going to throw it down, but the inhibitor's back up. Everything's looking Pain Gaming now as they turn their eyes towards the Baron, getting this vision down.
Yeah, that R3 of needlework absolutely obliterated Bronche. Hit him for about 60% of his life before he got the stopwatch off. Weiser, even though he's 1-4-4, he is a massive problem with this Rabadon. He has so much AP. As you said, you keep resurrect away Croc, you remove the Cyclone from the fight. Weiser and Dinkado are just going to run down Bronche at every single moment. I don't know if he has enough utility. We talked about all the things Trigo has to dodge. I don't know if Bronche can dodge just Dinkado and Weiser in his face at this point, Shibby.
Dinkado is a massive walking force to be reckoned with, right? I mean, he's got the healing reduction now. He is just full on this utility HP Swain, and specifically Trigo is firmly ahead of Bronche right now. Had the luxury to buy the Quicksilver Sash, so even if he does get charmed, rooted, glacial prison, anything that comes out from Loud, he has a little get out of jail free card for himself, along with the Ghost and Flash. Ghost coming up very shortly here. Yeah, this gold lead, this score, it's not indicative of how much gold is on where his damage is getting jumped on.
He's going to pop the Solar Flare, and I think this is an engage they take. Weiser's walking down. Bronche gets launched out of the fight here. He is finally able to make it back in. Cyclone going to be used by Croc to try and disengage the needlework. Look at the damage from Weiser. Croc is nearly dead. The Demonic Ascension is used, and that'll be a disengage. They look like they catch damage, but it's really them who gets caught. Bronche has white. No red, unfortunately. Right now stuck with green.
Tinone's looking for something. Huge flank as well.
Running in. Tinones, as you said, is there as well. He's not on a ward. Maybe looking for a charm. On to Trigo. The spell shield is there. Didn't even land but it would have been immune if it did. And Pain will simply walk away. The gold lead tells me Loud's in the lead, but that's not what the game tells me. Every team fight, Shibby, has gone in Pain's favor, really, for the last 10 minutes.
Well, the Baron gets started, though. Loud was able to shove out Pain Gaming here. Now, do they make the mistake? Do they go to where Tinones is, or do they go through the portals? Okay, Tinones on the flank.
Look at the guns, though, for Bronche. These are not the guns you want to be team fighting with.
No, not really. A lot of ultimates are down here.
I think they just simply have to disengage. Yeah, without red and white, Bronche, unfortunately, really couldn't. If they had red and white, I think they team fight there, and maybe that's where Loud wins this game. But fortunately, purple and green.
Yeah, not the
best
best
guns.
guns.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, well, it's not the best guns either. It's more for like long range engage, right? You get the pick off with purple and green, right? You throw the Moonlight Vigil, you get the root down onto multiple targets, and the rest of your team follows up. But in a composition like this, the way that it's built, Bronche and Tinones are the primary damage, right? Croc went Divine Sunder, Chempunk Chainsword, and then now has like sitting on a Negatron Cloak, a Giant Spell, and a Ruby Crystal. So I think he's building Force of Nature. So he's not going to be doing too much damage into these team fights. So when you have those guns, when you have the wrong guns, I would say in this opinion, you don't really have the damage profile to take a straight 5v5, especially into a Sivir who's 3.5 items in, who has the armor penetration item, who is firmly above Bronche. As the TP comes out, they might just burn the Baron here, trade Dragon Soul point, essentially Dragon Soul for a Baron, which is a classic thing, because Loud, they have to answer the Dragon or they have to answer the Baron. They can't necessarily answer both.
Yeah, I'd love to see Pain grab this Baron. I think they are worried if they lose the Baron, if Moonlight Vigil does go out, they get a double root onto Dinkado and Karyoka. Damage going to throw out the Solar Flare right onto Robo. Weiser's walking in uncontested. Didn't want to jump onto Bronche. Gwen is immune. It's Croc with the Warrior Trickster to get out of the fight. Robo dropping low. He's the first one to go down. The Everfrost, not enough. The Needlework. Can he get one more cast? It looks like that was the R3 that shredded the team. Croc is there, but without Robo, this should just be Hextech Soul for Pain Gaming here in game number 3. They do still have to worry about this tower, as Weiser's going to jump on it and just obliterate it here this late in the game.
Yeah, this should be Hextech Soul for them, unless Loud can stall out another 20 plus seconds. Robo does have the TP here, but they're just going to shred this, right? They can take it out. Croc has to come in with the Miracle Steel. Can he do it, Fish?
He's going to Warrior Trickster. Oh, he does it! Right on cue, Shibby, you called it! He goes down, that's probably Baron, but it at least denies Hextech Soul from the side of Pain Gaming.
This potentially could be a Baron play. A lot of members on the side of Loud are still up. They've recalled. They're healthy. TPs are coming in. The call for Baron is here. Croc is not here. Can the rest of Loud step up in his presence? He stole the dragon. Can they stop the Baron? No vision at all, Fish. The team fight looks like it's about to erupt.
And they find it. Baron at 6K, dropping incredibly fast. Tinone's looking for a play. Everfrost going to go out. Ninkado and Damage really just warding off the rest of the team. The Baron goes over to the side of Pain Gaming. But can they avoid disaster like the first time they got Baron? Robo will go down. The Moonlight Vigil, unfortunately, just doesn't do enough. And this time, all 5 members of Pain Gaming retain the Baron. And they can start to push in as this gold lead now finally in Pain's favor at just about 2K.
Up 36 minutes in, and Pain Gaming have taken a firmer grasp on the gold lead. About 2,000. They've got the Baron in their hands. Now, this won't be the negative Baron power play, right? The negative 3,000 gold. We're already at plus 1,700, but the gold is still close enough. There are fights where Loud I can see winning this. Anathemas gets finished onto Croc. A really interesting choice for Wukong there. Just looking to potentially CC. You look, I believe Dano means damage in Portuguese. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like Tinones and Trigo have been the primary damage doers, and then Ninkado and Weiser stepping up, both doing equal amounts of damage, having equal share in their parts here. Mid lane tier 2 turret goes down. Bot lane is looking to follow very soon. The jungle of Loud has been taken control of by Pain Gaming, with only a sliver of vision for Loud to work with.
Biggest downside for Loud, I mean, as you saw from the damage graph, yeah, Tenno and Branche are ahead of their lane opponents. But Carioca could just simply take one of them out of the fight if he wants to with that Keeper's Verdict. I think there was a couple fights ago, he threw it onto Branche, forced him out of the fight. There's so much just pressure from this Poppy to take someone out of the fight. It makes it so hard for Loud to plan around. And also, we just haven't seen a red and white gun combo for Branche yet in any of these team fights, Chibi. The reason Aphelios can be so scary, it's usually been like red or green white. We saw green purple. He's never been able to line up his guns when a team fight comes in. Solar Flare does go down, forces Tinones to use the Spirit Rush, but they'll gladly trade those cooldowns and just kind of keep this Baron empowered Canyon minion shooting. Unfortunately, he has been distracted, so he's not shooting the tower, and he will eventually go down.
He has minds wandering off into another place here, but another cannon wave gets brought in. The minions marching down onto the bot side. The fight breaks out, though.
They look like they want to jump onto Robo for a moment there. The Moonlight Vigil goes boom. Those are very low health bars. The Demonic Ascension has already been propped. The Zonias puts Ninkado in a very scary spot. He is able to flash away. On the hunt, going to be popped by Trigo. The Glacial Prism will miss. But Robo's still getting some slows down. But it looks like Pain is going to be able to disengage here potentially. Spirit Rush is back up for Tinones, though. He can maybe catch Weiser here. This is still very scary. Hextech behind. Tinones is behind the fight, but he might have just left his whole team all alone. Trigo kicks up one. Tinones isn't even on your screen yet, and Kato gets another one. Tinones just 5D chest his own team. And now here he comes. Cio's going to jump in. Grand Entrance is going to be able to pick up one, get a reset here for Tinones. Still has 3 charges. Karaoke should be the next one to go down. And Seo's going to try and kite the team. Trigo with the Boomerang Blade picks it up, though. Then Kato has the Demonic Ascension again. And it will be finally a disengage. Oh, no, Tinones, what did you do?
Tinones with the massive flanking his own team to their death, unfortunately, was able to pick up 1, but Pain Gaming picked up 4, I believe 4 in return at the end after all said and done. And now Trigo gonna finish out that Quicksilver / item here into the Mercurial Scimitar, and now is at the 6 item point. That is the scariest Sivir I have ever seen in CBLOL. Trigo putting the work in, Ninkado putting the work in, and now Weiser, if you once recall, Fish, was 0-3, is now 4-4-4, 4 items in, and now can Croc do it again?
Jay does finally have red and white for the first team fight. Only took 40 minutes. Can it pay off? Dragon Ops for the reset there. It's picked up. And that's going to be Hextech Soul. Croc already goes down. Was a little bit late on the Warrior Trickster. Damage over the wall with the Solar Flare. Zenith Blade not quite able to find it. Weiser will now dash over as it's a killing spree for Trigo. Can they find one more? Teleport here coming in from Nikado. He nailed Tino's goes down. Robo's going to be the next one to fall. This should be an ace for the side of Pain Gaming, and this should put them on match point. It's a quad for Trigo, and he proves, at least in Game 3, who the better AD carry is. And it's Pain Gaming on match point trying to make it to the Grand Finals.
And Din Kato opening up the chapter in his book saying Tin owns